Hey again, everybody. We're going to do with another encouragement again this Thursday. So the encouragement is going to be on, as a Christian, serving the Lord with gladness, with joy, with an umph to just go in there and do it, just as if you're getting paid a lot of money. You know, you want to go in there and you want to do well and do a lot considering how much you get paid. Well, let's just pretend, because the biggest payment was Jesus Christ dying on the cross for our sins. That's priceless compared to any amount of money you can get in your life. Going to heaven, being with Him forever, Him dying on the cross for you, and Him being your Lord. That's the biggest price that we could have ever gotten, was Him and His resurrection. And so I'm going to read you some about 5 verses. This is a very short chapter. It's in Psalms, and those are very short chapters in Psalms. But it's Psalms 100. Serve with gladness. Let's start with verse 1. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before His presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, He is God. It is He that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. Enter into His gates with thanksgiving and into His courts with praise. Be thankful unto Him and bless His name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endureth to all generations. That is a huge statement. That is something that we got to always be looking at whenever it comes to our Christian walk. Of course, if you're a Christian, you don't just become a Christian and then, okay, I'm a Christian, cool, I'm going to go to heaven. Now I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm saved. I would, whenever you do that, I would look into your heart, see if you're truly saved. Because when you are saved, you are born again, which means you are a new creation, you are a new person. There needs to be some type of change in your life. If there isn't any type of change in your life, I would doubt that you were ever saved in the first place. And this comes with serving God. Now, you don't get into heaven by works, but when you are saved, you do works for Jesus Christ, because that's just out of who you are now, because that's just, you're saved. You want to work for God. You want to do works for God. Just following His footsteps. You want to do is just as much as what the apostles did. I mean, the disciples did. You want to continually do more so that you can spread the gospel out into the world. You want to serve, and then when you are serving, you don't want to be slumped over. You don't want to be somebody that's just, I don't know, you like, I'm out here sweeping or something like that, or I'm digging a hole, or I'm cutting grass at the church. I mean, you don't want to be slumped over. You don't want to look depressed. You don't want to live your life just being in a downer. That's not the Christian way. That's not something that you want non-believers to see. You don't want non-believers to see you as a Christian just depressed looking all the time. I understand we have our seasons. Like I said, we're human. That's going to happen. But as Christians, we should have that peace. We should have that knowing that we're loved. We should have that assurance that we're going to heaven. And stuff like that. Like, you might work with somebody. You might have some friends who say they're Christians, but they go around just like, oh, woe is me, and the world's going to end someday. And they don't do anything for Christ. They just are slumped over. And so when a non-believer sees that, they're thinking, why would I want to be that? Why would I? I mean, they seem so sad. They seem so depressed compared to what I'm doing. I mean, I'm over here partying, having the time of my life. I mean, it's stuff like that. You don't want to be that type of person. And especially when you're serving God, you don't want to go and start, if let's just say you're a missionary and you're out in the streets and you're trying to bring people to the mission, or let them know the gospel. You don't want to be giving people cards to your church and being like, yeah, come and join us. We meet up on Sundays. You don't want to be like that type of person, because that is not an encouragement. That is not somebody that's going to look at you and go, oh yeah, I want to come on over. You seem like you're so happy. You don't. Do you seriously think that Paul was like that? You go and read about Paul and all the stuff he went through. How many times he was in jail? How many times he was being chased, he got beat up. He got beat up and he turned around and went back in there to preach again. He just stuff like that. He was joyous no matter what happened to him because he knew, I have to get the gospel out. I have to do this. Or, I mean, it's just in me. I'm a Christian and I want to do this for these people because it is heaven or hell. It is I've got to go and let them know they're going to hell if I don't do something about it. And that's what I want to be. I want to be as close to that type of servant that I can possibly be for Jesus Christ. I've spent years of my life, not doing anything. I knew I was a Christian, and every single day I would be convicted. I was lazy, and I'm trying my best now that just turn it around. I got a little girl. She's getting close to 17 months now. I've got to be a father. Not just to raising her and keeping her safe and caring for her and loving her. I got to show her the Christ-like love. I got to show her and my wife that. I got to be that leader of the house that we're called to be as men. I got to lead them closer and closer to Christ every single day. That's what we're called to do as men, as the husbands, as the fathers. That's what you got to do. And so I want to serve with gladness when it comes to that. Whatever I do in my Christian walk, I want to serve with gladness. And that's the point of this message today. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back for another one tomorrow.